you turn up late for fucking training and you'd have to do fucking 10.
Yeah, all right, lads, we're live. We're live. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday at 8:30, which means that coming to you live is your weekly dose of Mauls, balls, and all. Where, as I said in our advertisement, we wax lyrical, kind of. About all things rugby. Welcome to you all, people who watch this, who comment, who give us their opinions. You all add to the show. It includes you. It's for you. It's by us for you, for your entertainment. Joining me this evening is hold on. Here is the prodigal son. Ladies and gentlemen, will we have a drum roll for the return of the West's finest, the Connacht supporter himself, Mr. James Grennan. Here we go. There he is, James Grennan. Hey. Good man, James. How the hell are you, buddy? Are you well in yourself? Welcome back.
You're on mute, you fucking...
And do you want to turn your microphone on, James, after all that?
What a return.
What a great return, James. Turn on your microphone. Right, you don't have your microphone on. Anyway, Matt Boland, welcome back. It's kind of like the star from last week, Matt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mike Reedy, how the hell are you, buddy? Are you well in yourself?
Finest.
Good man. And returning to us, Dave Sheedy. Dave Sheedy, how the hell are you? Are you well?
I'm all right. I'm good, lads.
Good man.
Good. Great to see everyone.
Good man. Glad to have you with us. James Grennan, have you got your microphone sorted?
That's a no.
That'd be a negative.
James, try log out and log back in again. Go on the phone. Yeah, try that. Yeah, go on. I'll remove you. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we'll get James back on again. Okay, gentlemen, let's talk about the Interpros that happened. Jesus, fucking, can we just stay on fucking time? Dara Weston. Fucking hell. How the hell are you?
Sorry, I could see you giving out about me being late before I got
in. Right, gentlemen. James Grennan is trying to sort out his microphone issues. Anyway, we shall kick off because I know we constantly go over fucking time on this.
That's all right.
Now, Matt Boland. Well, there's no harm, yeah, but I mean, just we don't want to bore the fucking knickers off people. Matt Boland, we had 2 Interpros last weekend. Let's take them in the order that they happened. We had Leinster 26, Munster 12. One thing about that, the team that Leinster put out, Matt, although they won, yeah, great. But again, they failed to score in the second half. Matt?
Yeah, like at this level, it's just not good enough. First 15 minutes of that game, bolted out of the blocks. Unbelievably, and just 3 quick try. I think it was 21-0 in the first 14, 15 minutes. Super start.
Yeah.
And then kind of struggled for the rest of that half. Now, Munster did come into it then and start playing, and it was actually a good game to watch. But then to score nothing in the second half for the second time in a row, it's just not good enough.
Okay, but if you're to give a quick answer, I mean, is it just rustiness? What is it?
I don't know. I suppose maybe they just felt the game was over at half time and they just took their foot off the pedal. I don't know.
That's not a championship team mentality.
No, not at all. And that's why I'm hoping this is just one of those things that it's happening at the start of the season and they're going to rectify as they go along. But you know yourself, it's a game. Every game is a game of 2 halves. You can't go out in the first half and get a bonus point in the first half and then do nothing in the second half, because better teams, not saying Munster are a shit team, but in the later stages of the Heineken Cup,
that's basically what you just said. You just said Munster were shit.
That's what I heard.
They were shit in the first half. Let's put it that
way. Okay, Mike Reedy. Sorry, go on, Matt.
You know what I'm saying, though.
I know what you're
towards the end of the season, where it'll come back to haunt them, like La Rochelle did twice and 3 times in a final.
The business end of the season, Matt.
Yep.
We go with that, yeah. Mike Reedy, what did you make of that? The Interpro Leinster 26, Munster 12, Leinster not scoring in the second half.
I only saw the highlights, but it's not a good fit really. Not scoring, not like because of Leinster's history, like Matt just said, like losing. They had the 19-point lead in the Heineken Cup final in Dublin, and then they fucking lost it, like and is it becoming a habit? They also led in Paris or wherever they played that final, though Tottenham, and ended up losing that as well. So they seem to be. They can't surely be running out of steam. I mean, it doesn't happen to Ireland, and it's almost the same team. So it's what they're sent out to do by the looks of it. So is it a coaching issue? Is it a I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it myself now, but it's
Can we
something.
blame me and Aber for that? Can we?
Sorry.
Oh, no, we're not going down that. No, don't mention the war. Jesus Christ.
No,
Christopher Goff, Megan Augusta, Gregor Galway, how are you? Bevan Marie Burke, how are you? I don't know that we are related. I don't think. Okay, Dave Sheedy, what did you make of that? I know you're a Munster fan. Leinster 26, Munster 12. No score in the second half for Leinster.
Is this my only chance to talk about it? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
All right, you're gonna have to give me a couple of minutes.
Oh, for Christ's sake, go on.
No, look. I'll start with Leinster. Right, we saw flashes of the Lancaster because I was in the Cusick watching it, and then when I came home, me and my father rewatched it because obviously certain things you can see up high when you're at the stadium and other things you see on TV. From what I saw up high with Leinster, there was flashes of the Lancaster era in their first 3 tries. But in the second half, it was like, for me, they stopped playing because Munster's defence was absolutely juvenile. And Leinster could have opened that up, but they were just doing simple hands. If you were looking at the back line of Ireland, Munster and Leinster, you can see Ireland have dummy runners, switches, skip passes, this, that and the other. With Leinster, it was just hands and then bad defending by Munster let them in. And for the first 3 tries, definitely. Because if you go back and watch it, the first try for James Lowe, by the way, that pass was as forward as the one for Nash's. if you look at it, honestly. Yeah. So we'll have a go at Busby later over that. But Mike Haley, and I've been saying this so many times about his defence, Mike Haley was out wide. Now, because he scored a try doesn't mean he's a great player. He was out wide. There was a ruck formed, and then Leinster had a 4-man overlap because Mike Haley came into the ruck to act as a pillar when there was no need, when there was about 6 forwards there just getting up off the ground. They could have, and then it was just a quick skip pass to James Lowe straight in. You rewatch that. That was Mike Haley's fault. This was the second try. Sean O'Brien breaking the line, coming straight out, shooting out, and left a massive gap. And just, Keenan can walk that in all day long. The defence, from what I saw up high, the structure of the Leinster defence was impeccable. Absolutely impeccable. They lined up, they rushed up. What I saw with Munster's defence was they'd rush for 3 steps, they'd stop. The first tackle on any Leinster player was driven backwards, or they missed it. The first tackle. So say you got someone coming with the ball, you got 2 Munster men going from the first person in contact, fell off the tackle, and then the second one was straight in, but he was driven backwards. Leinster were clearly physically better than Munster. Physically, they won. They got over the gain line in every contact. Munster kept falling off tackles, and you can say about the second half, Munster didn't let them play. Bollocks. Leinster stopped playing. Because the scramble defence in Munster was good, but the first up-front defence was absolutely shocking. There was actually one period where I was looking down towards the hill, I think it was in the second half, and Munster were literally bunched in together in a 20-metre gap. The whole team. How are you supposed to score when you're all bunched together that closely? So, Mike Prendergast is on telly all the time, we have to do this, we have to do that, and people are having to go at Graham Rowntree. The defence was shocking. The attack was shocking when you compare to last year. And everyone said that Munster had the best defence last year. We didn't have the best defence in Europe. We had it in the league, but not in Europe. So that's saying something. The zebra performance was so bad that people didn't know what was going to happen with the Ospreys game, this and the other, but the conditions were so bad. But yet the Ospreys were allowed on top in the second half. So it seems that Munster have the same problem with Leinster in the second half, because in my book, that performance by Munster was worse than Zebra, because it just looked pure juvenile. And we'd no pace in the back line. Our forwards are generally very sluggish. Like was it David Corkery in one of those articles said that Stephen Archer was our highest tackler? What the feck? Like, Doris beat our back row on his own because Van der Fleer didn't do much. Ryan Baird didn't do much. Conan, God bless him, went off. Look, Doris beat our back row on his own. And he was phenomenal. And if you look at the selection beforehand, we only have one jumper in the line-out in Tadhg because Jack O'Donoghue was not much of a line-out operator. Why wasn't Tom Ahern starting so we'd have another option at line-out? I mean, it was just
but you also, Dave, unfortunately, you got Peter O'Mahony injured as well, who was also a line-out operator for us.
Yeah, I'll get to that though. But I'm pretty sure that Leinster team had more first-team injuries than Munster did, because we only had really O'Mahony as a first-team starter. Like, people are saying, "Oh, Munster have all these injuries." They're not starters who were injured.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, Dave, I could talk to you all night about this. Go on, your last point. Go on.
Just one more point, right? The tackling as well by Munster. If you look at Snyman's try, Stephen Archer is tackling high. That was the cause for a lot of the HIAs with Munster, is their tackling position is too high, and that's why they get driven back and on. There's so many things wrong. And the last thing I'd say is I think this is too early in the season for this fixture. This fixture used to be Thomond Park and then March or April to get both teams ready for the Heineken Cup. And now they're doing it too early when the teams are not ready to go. And the atmosphere in Croke Park was one of the worst I've ever seen.
It was a bit flat, all right. Yeah, okay,
it was terrible.
Absolutely. James Grennan, have you got your microphone on?
I do believe I have. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. You do have it. You have it on.
Good.
James Grennan, your thoughts on the first of the two Interpros, Leinster v Munster?
Just two things for me. Tom Farrell, I thought, had a great game and some wonderful offloads, and I'm delighted to see that he's doing well, and we do miss him severely at Connacht. And the other thing was the taking the line out by RG Tampon. He was fucking the one-handed take. I thought was fucking unreal. Yeah, those are the two highlights for me. Other than that, it wasn't really of much interest to me. It was very predictable what was going to happen. Yeah, Leicester didn't need to score in the second half. Like, I don't know what all the fuss is about. They didn't need to. It was just meh, you know.
What would you agree overall with Dave Sheedy's criticism of Munster, their lack of defence, all this sort of stuff?
I would, yeah. No, Dave made some very salient points there, all right, and a good analysis of it. Yeah, to be honest, I was waiting for the main event of the evening, which turned out to be a bit of a disappointment, but we'll get to that, though.
Yeah, and funny enough, James, great to have you back, by the way. Great to have you back,
Thanks.
by the way.
Hello, Megan. I got a nice greeting from Megan when I logged in there, so thank you.
You did. The second Interpro, James, Ulster 32, Connacht 27. One thing I will say about this, James, I don't know if you saw this. The ex-England player, Andy Good, posted on Twitter. The last line out that Ulster took, did you see it?
I did, yeah. He was about 12 inches in onto the field. So
the Ulster hooker throwing into the line out was actually on the pitch. He wasn't behind it. He wasn't on the touchline. He was actually on the pitch.
I mean,
go on, James.
It wasn't just his toes were on the line. His heels were about 6 or 8 inches into the field. Anyway, look, the result stands. There's no use moaning about it. They did score off that line out and they won the game as a result. But Connacht didn't play well enough. What bugged me the whole match, and I was screaming. I was commenting on the page during the page that Danny put up, the match thread that Danny put up. I was commenting the whole time that Mac Hansen was injured. He was injured. He was limping along. He was hobbling along. He was minding himself. He made no tackle. And I hate to say it, but he was a waste of a fucking jersey the whole match. And we were playing with 14 men the whole match, and went down to 13 then with the yellow card, and then the red card. That was just a fucking brain fart. The shoulder to the head, like no need for it at all. Very, very disappointed to see that. But I don't know what was going on. Maybe something that I'm not privy to that the coaching staff knew. But I could not see why Mac Hansen was not taken off after 15 minutes, because he was clearly carrying a knock. Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, not good, never a good thing. Matt Boland, the second intro there, as I just asked James. Thanks, James. Ulster v Connacht, also winning that 32-27.
Yeah, look, I watched that as well, and like as James just said there at the end, like Mac Hansen, like it seems to be they're trying to play injured players for the sake of getting a result or a score, but he was clearly in discomfort. And like anybody that's played the game knows how hard it is to play when you're fully fit, because it's so physical. But when you're carrying a knock and you have to go on and play, and Dave, you'll know this from back when we were playing, you'd turn up on a Saturday or Sunday morning and there'd only be 15 players, and you'd take a knock and you'd be off for 10 minutes, but you'd be going straight back on. And how physical that is on the body. So at this level, why are they leaving players on to maybe exacerbate an injury that's going to put them out on a longer basis? He's only just back.
It'd be like what happened Carberry for Ireland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it's madness. Like I like the HIA thing where they get a knock to the head and they're taken off and they're assessed off the field. Great. But if you can see somebody physically struggling, limping, or carrying a knock, or protecting a shoulder going into a tackle, they're injured. Get them off, because they're gonna fuck themselves up even worse, and then be not available for possibly the rest of the season. And I just didn't understand the whole Mac Hansen thing, because he's only just back. Why risk it? You know, so.
Absolutely. And I think if he's exacerbating an injury, we'll lose him for the November internationals as well. And you know, Ireland need him.
No, we don't want that. We definitely don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so like, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like,
I don't know what Pete Wilkins was thinking. I really don't.
Anyway,
so, I don't know. But
right, gentlemen, before I come to Mike and Dave, just a comment there from Bev Anne Marie Burke. Let's hope it's not like what happened with Ulster. They gave up on Dan McFarland a year and a half before he left. Maybe Leinster are doing the same with Leo. Well, Bev, I think Leo's going to go at the end of next season anyway, because he, in the past, he expressed an interest in coaching abroad. So it would not shock me if Leo left at the end of next season. Right, Mike Reedy, your thoughts on the second Interpro, Ulster or Connacht?
Well, I just saw the highlights. I didn't see any rugby at the weekend, but I saw. The sending off was a bit of poor play from Murphy, and something surprised me a little bit. Connacht scored some tries from Mauls, you know, and they're not renowned for scoring Maul tries, but they scored I think a couple of Maul tries, and young Ben, what a player that boy is.
Ben Murphy is class.
But I only saw the try now. I mean, I couldn't go on what he did during the rest of the game, but that was fantastic. And also John Cooney had a wee cameo try for Ulster as well. It was good to see. It's a shame, lads, that never got a proper chance playing for Ireland. But
look, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
I know.
All right, thanks, Mike. Sorry, Mike, were you finished? Sorry.
I can't contribute much to the games tonight. I'm afraid I didn't see him, and
we'll get. Well, I'm sure you'll have your Farage moment at some stage. Dave Sheedy, what did you think about that particular game? If you saw it,
I'll be honest with you. I didn't see it. I've watched the Munster game every day since Saturday, and I haven't looked at any other game, not one other game. I've just been analysing that and furious. Can I make one point though? What James said about
another one?
Just quickly. Tom Farrell was the only good thing in that Munster game, and he now has to be a consideration for backup to to Gary Ringrose because we've been wondering about having a 13. He was excellent, man, and I'm so much happier with him than Frisch. But like I've so much to say about that. Once again, we don't have the time.
Right, we've only got an hour for fuck's sake. Jeez, with you, we'd be fucking here till fucking next weekend, for Christ's sake. Now, a couple of things I wanted to mention. Our colleague, as you know, from the chat group, Claire Devaney, asked me to mention about the English women, the Red Roses, are the first team in the history of rugby, male or female, to reach 97 points in the world rankings. Whoop, whoop, well done. There you go, Claire, I've done it.
That deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
Well, it's some achievement. They're on a 20-game winning streak, I think. Yeah, it's a big achievement today. Well, I was being sarcastic there, but it is a big achievement in fairness.
Sorry, Pete. I don't know if you mentioned it at the start. It's the 8th anniversary of Axel Foley passed away. So
I was just about to say that. No, you're all right. You're all right. Yeah. No, I know all these things. There's loads of topics running around online and all that. I was going to say that. Yeah. Followed up by, and it is, yes, Axel, 8 years. I remember it well. Mm-hmm. The shock that was felt throughout the rugby world. And then, of course, the amazing, the 8 figure when the players on the pitch against New Zealand. Fantastic. And the other thing is that the draw for the Women's World Cup is taking place tomorrow on the One Show on BBC. There is 4 bands of four teams, obviously 16. In Ireland's band they're in band 2 is Australia, Ireland, Scotland, and Italy. When the draw is made, the match schedule, all the match schedules will be made on October 27th. So if you're watching the One Show tomorrow at 7:20, the Women's Rugby World Cup draw is being made. Now, got that out of the way, got Claire out of me fucking hair. Now.
Hi, Claire.
Right. Matt Boland, I'll come to you on this. This was posted in the group. I just thought this was very interesting for a representative group. We have Leinster, Munster, and Connacht. But unfortunately, no Ulster. But anyway, we go with the representation here, which will reflect, I'd say, most of the group. And the post was this, Matt, from Donald O'Leary. Leinster players playing in numbers for Ireland is as beneficial to them as a club as it is for Ireland, particularly in the bigger games. They are playing together at a level higher than the URC or the Heineken Cup. They know each other inside out. The rising tide does not lift all provincial boats, though. The other provinces lose key players in lesser numbers to international camps. They lose the playing connection with their provincial teammates. Even when they get their internationals back, there is a disconnect. Leinster remain connected as a team. Matt?
Yeah, look, it's a very valid point, and it's hit the nail on the head. I mean, when you're playing with guys day in, day out, weekends, training, you know them inside out. You know what way they move on the pitch. You can actually preempt some of the moves that they're going to do or which way they're going to go. And people can read each other's body language because you know them by training maybe 3-4 times a week, playing matches. It's a massive thing. And as they said, like when the Leinster lads go off to play for Ireland, it's the same thing. They're playing with each other again, and that's where he's made a very valid point. It's a little bit easier for the Leinster lads to change from international back to provincial rugby because they're still mates, they're still playing together, and they know how they move, they know how they operate, And as he has said, like it's harder for the other 3 teams like Connacht, Munster, and Ulster because they don't have that same connect. Because I'd say it's actually very difficult for them lads to go into Ireland camps at times because it's like a clique, like they're the Leinster guys, they're playing each other, and it's hard for them to get in. But I must say though, when they do get into Ireland camp, they do gel well. Yeah, and it's whatever way they're trained, and Andy Farrell has a real open policy of family and keeping the family in there and having it all open, whereas Joe Schmidt was kind of shut everyone out and nobody can come in, and it's all just us. and I think that's actually benefited as well. Like, but
I think Joe Schmidt, Matt, I think he had a ban on the players' partners coming to the games or pre-game day. So you couldn't even get a ride. You couldn't even get a fucking ride before the match.
Say there was a riding ban.
Yeah, a riding ban. Yeah, I remember reading that. I'm not making that up, by the way.
No, I remember.
I do
James
remember
Grennan. James Grennan. What did you think of that post by Donald O'Leary about the Leinster, the rising tide doesn't have all the provincials and all that?
It made a lot of sense because the boys are playing together the whole time. You pull, say, out of Connacht, you pull Bundy, Finlay, and Mac out of Connacht. It's just the three of them. When they come back into the squad again, I've been thinking about this for a while. About why Bundy hasn't appeared to play well for Connacht, and for a while I was thinking, fuck it, he's no interest. But I think I might be wrong on that. I think he's used to the pace of the Ireland team, and when he comes back into the Connacht squad, they're not fast enough, and they're not there to pass the ball to, and he's holding back, and he has to wait for them, which I think it is. But yeah, to get back to the point, yeah, it's correct. Like you've what 12 of the Leinster squad at the minimum playing together in the Ireland squad, and then they're back again playing. So it makes sense.
Yeah. Sorry, Dara Weston. I just saw. I don't know how long you're waiting there. Sorry.
It's grand. It was only about 10 minutes.
Sorry, Dara. I didn't hear anything in my headphones. I normally hear something in my headphones. Oh my God, sorry, my fault. Sorry, mea culpa.
No, you're fine. I thought I was in the bowl corner.
No.
You were on naughty.
No, go on, Dara. It seems I just remembered. I just saw you there coming in. Go on. Do you want to answer that question that was asked by Donald O'Leary?
Yeah, no. I think. Look, fair enough. Yeah, the players they play in now, but I think James was making a good point about Bundy and his performance. But yeah, look, I think it's easy for the players to gel. From what I've seen from the players in the other provinces, they don't seem phased. It's once they get together for Ireland, they're all Ireland, and it's the provinces seem to go out the window under Andy Farrell now. It's very much focused on the Irish team. So, yeah.
I know, but it's more so, Dara, when they come back into the provincial setup, as James was saying about Aki, that there seems to be a bit of a problem outside of Leinster with the other provinces.
Here you go. Come
here. Well, I think all the I think none of the provinces have a setup that can match the Irish setup, really, under Andy. And so I think there's going to be a bit of a culture shock going back from the national squad to your regional squad, or provincial squad, I should say. It's probably just less of a shock for Leinster because there's more of them, traveling en masse. There's a dozen of them or so, whereas there's 3 or 4 going to Connacht, maybe 5 in the wider squad. Slightly more going to Munster, maybe 3 or 4 going to Ulster. So it's less. So I suppose that, and especially as Connacht, it's kind of some of the key players in their squad are coming back in.
Yeah.
I suppose it is more of an adjustment.
True.
I think just on that there, I think Connacht are getting more used to playing without Bundy now. Like they're getting to be almost a better team without him. Because when he's in there, there's too much reliance on him maybe, and they're thinking, oh, wait for Bundy to do something, or oh, what does Bundy want me to do? And when they're there on their own, the young lads are, because I've been there on the sidelines and I've been watching it when he is playing and when he's not playing, and I remember Byron Ralston last year when Bundy was inside him, he was out in the wing and he kept shouting at him, Byron, and Byron didn't know what to fucking do, and he had a horrendous game. The next game he had, he was absolutely fine. He was more confident. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for the players going in and out, but it seems to have a big impact on Connacht.
Yeah, there's another one of your fans there, James, Christopher Goff.
Hey, Christopher, how are you getting on?
Good to see you. Right, Dave Sheedy, go ahead.
I think Donald's a Munster supporter like myself. I see his point. I don't know if I 100% agree with it because, like, back in 2000, 9, the majority, I only watched the game against France there the other day, the majority of the team was Munster. So you could use that argument back then as well. Like, I think, like, Ireland play the kind of Lancaster style of rugby. So it's very easy for Leinster to gel into the Irish squad and then get over, whereas it is tougher for the other provinces. But like, as everyone has said, when it comes to Ireland, there's never a problem. Everyone just fits in. They know their role. They blah, 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 back and forth. So, like, I see what he's saying. I think if anything, Leinster could be hurt more by the amount of players they give to the Ireland squad in the league and stuff like that. But they seem to be going okay. Like, it's a valid point, but I don't know if I 110% agree with it.
Right. Okay.
Just based on previous,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But again, Dave and everyone, I think you touched on it there, Dave, going back to 2009. All these things are cyclical. In 5, 6, 7 years' time, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, but like, I mean, they're professional players as well. So, like, I mean, if you know your job, you should be able to work it in other systems. Like, you know the system when you go back into Munster or Connacht. So you should be able to fall back into it. Like, I mean, it is your trade at the end of the day, But what James said about Bundy, I've noticed that as well. He's not playing as well for Connacht.
I think that's a very valid point. What James said.
Yeah,
I think it's a very valid point. Yeah. Bev Amory, he should have been off the pitch for a HIA. That hit from Josh Murphy, but never went off for a HIA. So maybe he was concussed. Is that in reference to Mac? I believe it is.
I would say so.
Hold on, sorry, just a load. Just these. I don't know why this happens. All these comments just come in one bunch. Bev again. Why didn't they let Shane Mallon come on? He's third year academy and needs game time. Plus, can play both wings and both centres. From what I know, Shane isn't injured. James Grennan, I don't know.
I don't know why he wasn't brought in or why Mac wasn't sent off. But it wasn't a HIA for Mac in that game. It was it looked like a leg injury that he was carrying, because it was right from within the first 10 minutes of the game. I noticed that he was carrying something and he was minding himself. And one of the Ulster tries, he was the last defender. And he just pawed him like that, and he didn't even make an effort to make a tackle. It was clear he wasn't going to get in the way. He was not going to hurt himself further. So, total waste of a jersey for the day, which is disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely. A player of his class and quality, absolutely. Yes, totally agree. Mike Grady.
Yeah, I saw that posting. People are saying that it gives an advantage to Leinster. I mean, Ireland have won 2 back-to-back Six Nations. Leinster have won nothing in the last 2 or 3 years. So it's not reflecting back on Leinster either. And I mean, realistically, if they were so strong, they should be benefiting most. And it doesn't seem to apply.
But Ireland aren't playing La Rochelle, Mike.
No, but they're playing fucking France. They're playing France and playing England and playing South Africa and beat them away. It's got to come down to the coaching. I don't know now what.
But Rog isn't in charge of France or any of those. He's in charge of La Rochelle.
Yeah, I know that.
Rog has a team of mercenaries.
Oh, don't mention fucking mercenaries.
The Leinster lads are tired from carrying Ireland, and when they get back into Leinster,
hey, get off your high horse there, Weston. Now, yeah.
But, I mean, the same period, Munster have won a championship, so I don't know who's benefiting from. I don't totally agree with.
In the same period, how many years are we going back now? Are we talking about 14-year period?
We're talking about present day. I'm not.
Right.
I'm just saying. Why aren't Leinster benefiting? Like this boy has said, they should be benefiting. It doesn't appear that they have done. I mean, at the business end of the season, they have faltered for the last 3 years. So that needs to change. It's not good enough from Leinster, being honest. It's not. They with the squad of players they have at their disposal, they should be winning that championship every year. No question about it.
I don't know about that, but the gap in no championship wins or URC wins. Yes, I would agree with you there, Mike. Yes, absolutely. Matt Boland.
I mean, the last point you had about Leinster faltering towards the end of games, that's been consistent as well over that period. So there is something in that, by the way. That is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Well, is it okay? As was mentioned, but I think it was one of the comments from one of the viewers. They just did Leinster have to turn up in the second half? They had enough done. They were so far ahead. But that's another argument. Anyway, Matt Boland, go ahead. Sorry, Mike. Go on. Matt.
Was I not talking about this already at the start?
I don't know. You probably were. Yeah.
Are you 6 deep again now, Berkey? Are you?
No, not again. No, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is let me just see here. Dara West, I want to come to you first on this.
Bungalow Bill, is it?
I don't know. I don't know why the subs debate. World Rugby's equivalent of America's Joe Biden, doesn't know where he is half the time. Bill Beaumont came out, said he was on the subs debate. He said it's more now a 23-man game other than a 15-man game. I don't know what the hell Bill Beaumont is talking about. It was always a 23-man game. But he says that there's an over-reliance on substitutes. And he referenced the bomb squad. Mm. And he wants it. Now, Bernard Jackman said this last year. He would like to see the subs bench reduced to 5. Now, I don't know. I'd let you all talk about it. Dara Weston, you go first on that. What do you think of that from Bill Biden?
World Rugby are always going on about player safety. And then they come out with the stupidest fucking law amendments like orange cards, 20-minute
Yeah, we're coming to that.
And then saying there's too many subs. Now, if players have to go off, so are you going to get to the stage maybe where somebody can't go off for a HSA or HIA or a team have to go down to 14 because you've nobody to come on the pitch? Like, I don't think it's and the bomb squad. It's ridiculous. One of these days South Africa will get caught out with that. They have been caught out sometimes in the past, but it's never sunk them. Where they just have a couple of injuries in the backs and suddenly your man Bongo playing centre half or something. I mean, it's just it's a gimmick, the bomb squad, really. But I can't see how reducing the number of subs you're allowed helps player safety. That's my concern about it. And we're meant to be all about player safety these days. So, I think it's a backward step if you reduce the amount of subs.
Well, Billy Boy is going in November, so that's probably going to help things. James Grennan, what do you think about this? The idea of reducing the subs bench from 8 down to 5 that Bill Beaumont has come out with.
Is he fucking suffering from fucking Alzheimer's or something? I don't know what's wrong with him at all.
I told you he's fucking Joe Biden of work.
Yeah, just fucking good riddance to him because just listening to him and thinking it annoys me. Like as Dara said it there, player safety. You want to reduce the amount of subs. How's that going to fucking help? Jesus Christ. Get a grip, man. Get a grip.
But you know what? Sorry, James. Sorry to interrupt. One of the reasons he gave was, this is how stupid and incompetent Bill Beaumont is. One of the reasons he gave was that a lot of rugby matches, as anyone who's played the game, which is probably all of us, are won and lost in the last 20 minutes. Now, why is that? Because of fatigue. Because you're fucking wrecked. It doesn't make for a fair contest. His thinking behind this is just mind-boggling. Anyway, I'm glad he's gone.
Oh yeah. Who's coming in to replace him? Do we know yet?
They have to have a vote. There's 2 or 3. There's a Scottish fella and a fella from Australia.
No, the Scottish fella's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Sorry, he's gone.
The Scottish Rugby Union wouldn't support him. There's the Australian fella who did actually play in the professional era. There's the Italian fella who got capped once for Italy, and that's fucking all he ever did. And he only played, I don't think he ever played pro, and I think he only played with one club for a couple of seasons. And then is there a French lad as well?
I don't
know. The Italian fella probably had a fucking ice cream.
It'll be between the Australian and the French lad.
hang on, don't worry. The Italian guy, you know what they say: those who can do, those who can't teach. So maybe the Italian guy couldn't play, but he might be able to manage. Who
I
knows?
was just going to say that.
Go on, Dave Sheedy. Your thoughts on this thing about the subs?
Well, now you mentioned the bomb squad, so this is going to this is just more fuel for the Saffas to World Rugby keep changing the rules, so we can't play the way we want to play and all this. Like back in the 80s, when I first kind of started watching rugby, didn't you have to be 100% injured before you could replace a player? Like that, to hand out the little note and stuff, and the doctor had to come out. Wasn't that the case?
You needed to be missing a limb nearly.
I remember being told by a coach to pretend I was injured so he could get somebody better on.
Yeah, you had to be injured.
Never happened to me, Darren. Never happened to me.
Well, I
was.
To use a sub
where they nicked the inside of the guy's mouth to pretend he was blood injury.
Oh yeah, you was McClusker or whatever. Or
your man. Go on, Dave. Go on, Dave.
Back in the 80s, I think I remember you had to be assessed by the doctor and then to bring on a sub. And then how many years ago now? Probably 10 years ago, they introduced another sub to make it 23 because it used to be 22. So I'm with Darren about the whole player safety thing, but like, I mean, the more, I'd nearly put it up to 30 so more people could represent their country and their clubs and stuff like that. I have no problem with 23. I think it's fine. I think he's just looking to stir the pot with his stupid, as you want to talk about later, the red card and like the other stupid rules he's bringing in. Like, there's a lot to be said to leave the game alone for a couple of years as well. Like, they just want to change it all the time are they trying to turn it into the English Premiership where it's just revenue?
They're trying to. I tell you what they're trying to do. They're trying to justify their fucking wages. That's what they're trying to do. To be they're perceived doing a job. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Mike Reedy, what do you think of all this?
It's very concerning that almost every decision made by World Rugby currently is the knee-jerk reaction, and this is basically a reaction to the so-called bomb squad, as everybody's talking about. And the reaction to South Africa putting 6 and 7 forwards on the bench, and I think it's a reaction to that. But Bill Bowman needs to realise that the game of rugby has changed absolutely dramatically since his playing days, and there's a requirement now for those for at least 8 subs, like Dave just said, because the physicality of the game is fucking astronomically more so now than it was back in my day. And like, for him to come out with nonsense like that in an age when we're trying to reduce or increase player safety, like and reduce concussion injuries, and like Dave just said, like, I mean, there was no subs at all up to, I think it was 1969 was the first time you could even bring on a sub on. So, and there was only 2 or 3 for all the 80s and all that. So I think he's topping absolutely. The guy needs to go away now at this juncture, because some of the stuff he is coming out with is embarrassing. And like Dave also just said, all you're doing is giving more fuel to the South Africans to complain that we're trying to keep them down, and it's the only way we're going to keep them down. And
it was very pointed what he said about mentioning the bomb squad. Like, that was clearly, no, I have some sympathy for the South African.
So do I.
For because of, like, that was clearly pointed at them, like, talking about the bomb squad, because they brought that term to the fore and they introduced that and all that nonsense, and you'd have to feel sorry for them, or have some sympathy. Maybe not sorry for them. Hard to feel sorry for them, but
I'd say Billy Beaumont has a book coming out and he knows nobody will fucking read it, so he's hoping a couple of South Africans will buy it to burn it.
Yeah, but the concern I have is everything they do, every decision they make now is based on knee jerk. If somebody gets an upper hand in some situation or something like that, they fucking change. They move the goalposts to try and change the laws of the game. And like the lads have said, like, let's fucking leave it the way it is for at least a couple of years and see. I mean, this I don't know if you're getting onto the point, but this.
Hold on. But then again, Mike, they have to be seen to be doing something. As I said, they have to justify their
leave things. That's what they need to be seen to be doing.
Okay. Hold on. I want to come to Matt Boland about this. He hasn't answered yet. Go on, Matt. The subs issue.
They're doing a lot of tinkering at the moment, but like, I think they start listening to the bigger nations. When the bigger nations start giving out about something, they'll make action. But you got to remember, right? They're trying to change the game for player welfare. So by reducing subs, they're immediately taking one step back in that player welfare thing that they're so desperate to look after players and the safety of players. Realistically, though, if you reduce the subs to 5, that means like there is no player welfare there for the guys that will get injured after the 5th sub, because you know yourself, generally speaking, even 8 subs at times is not enough in a game, and especially when you have a really physical test match like Ireland South Africa, which ended up being a really grudge fucking test match where two nations were going at it 1 and 2, and look how many HIAs were in the first of that match. I remember South Africa said they were going to just bully Ireland and batter Ireland, and it was the other way around. All the South Africans were coming off with fucking bloody noses and bloody faces. But that's what's going to happen. But that's what's going to happen. Do you know, you're going to end up taking a step back in the player welfare thing. And I'm pretty sure, like when Bill Beaumont was playing, there wasn't the physicality of players back then. There were probably more beer bellies and fucking flabby arms, you know, where there was a lot of body protection in tackles anyway. But now
he must have got a lot of HIAs though.
That's
the only thing that would explain it.
These elite players, they're built like fucking tanks, and when they hit you, you fucking feel it. Do you know, it's different.
That's the point I want to make, Matt. Is the Everton's player welfare now, where it wasn't as predominant player welfare many years ago, because players are bigger now, faster, stronger. But like, I think that's the problem. Now, there's no way of policing that, unfortunately. But that's the main issue, is because players' bodies now are so much bigger than their skeletal frame that they're getting bigger injuries, worse injuries, and then it's a knock-on effect. The bigger you make yourself, the harder you're able to hit. Fair enough, but like, I mean, you're going to suffer in the long run because of all this.
Yeah, like all the body fat and padding that was back in the day when props were fucking beer bellied props. Like,
yeah,
these lads are now like supreme physical beings that are like built like from pure muscle, you know. Yeah. So
I tell you what, I heard a great description, Matt and gentlemen, about the difference between pre-95 amateur era and post-95. Was that it has changed from a collision sport to an avoidance sport, which I thought was quite kind of apt, although it's coming back into the collision sport when you look at some of the offloads and they're going straight, particularly from the edge of the scrum and middle of the park, when they're going straight in to take out the 2 players and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I wanted to move on, gentlemen, because we're again, as always, what we do every week is we tend to be short on time. The one thing, Dara Weston, I want to ask you first. This whole thing, we have spoken about this before on this show to an exhaustive length. I think we brought it up twice or 3 times, but now it has re-raised its ugly head again, and that is this 20-minute red card. Now, the IRFU, it said on RTE's website, the IRFU are considering their position on it. But the French, being the French, they don't give a shite. They came out and this is what they said. Rugby is followed by millions of fans around the world. The implementation of this rule could encourage more aggressive play or create controversies related to the tactical exploitation of the rule, thus negatively impacting the image of rugby. Dara Weston, will this ever go away, or are they really going to bring this in?
It needs to go away. It's again going back to player welfare. If somebody makes a dangerous challenge, it's a red card. A red card has to stay a red card. A yellow card is, you know. So what is it going to be now, that a red card is going to be like hitting somebody in the head with absolutely no mitigation? But if there's a tiny bit of mitigation, you get a 20-minute red card. It's, you know, they for player welfare and safety. I mean, it's still all coming down the tracks, these cases against World Rugby, by the players who have dementia and Alzheimer's and head injuries. And it's only when these come down the tracks and suddenly World Rugby is paying out hundreds of millions to various parties that they'll actually start taking player welfare seriously. I'd say the reason the IRFU are probably looking at, they're probably taking legal advice. I would say that's probably what's happening in the background of how can they avoid kind of implementing this. But I think, no, I mean, there's 2 cards, a yellow and a red, and that's it.
Yes.
It's we've talked about before how it's just going to lead to cynical. You put somebody on who's your second string player, tell them to absolutely destroy Finn Russell, first chance they get. They get sent off, and then you bring on your first choice player in that position. And if Bill Beaumont gets his way, then you only have 4 subs left for actual genuine injuries and things like that. So no, I think it's just hopefully the IRFU will see sense and do like the French and say, no, it's absolutely ridiculous. This is all because a Kiwi got sent off in the World Cup final.
Yeah.
And they felt, it shouldn't have been a permanent red. He should only got a slap on the wrist. If it had been any other country, we wouldn't be having these discussions.
True. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Just a quick comment there, James, before I come to you. Joe Lyons, need to remember, this is going back to our conversation earlier, need to remember that most of the Leinster players have played with and against one another since they were 12, 13 years of age. It's unfair to expect them to play at club level for another team as they're raised and in the most born in Leinster. If we suddenly start to dilute this and more players en masse to other province, it could water down the competitive edge that is naturally developed in Leinster from the players playing against one another. All right. Thanks, Joe. Good to have you with us.
I would say, Joe, it could increase the competition between the younger players if only the best get to stay in Leinster and the others get sent.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. And sorry, just one last one, James, before I come to you. Ger Brennan. Hi, Ger. Good to have you with us as always. Good to have you all with us, I should say. Jared Brennan, Leinster use academy players and second choice players when the international players are away, which suits everyone in both setups. The other provincial provinces lose 1 or 2 players and their replacements become more part of the team, gel better, making the international outsiders. Okay.
Good point.
James Grennan. Coming back to this whole 20-minute red card, your thoughts on this? It's raised its head recently now with the IRFU considering their position, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Just before that, Gregor Galway had a comment there that Ben Murphy needs to be in the autumn squad. I agree 100%.
Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, are you going to be serious about fucking player safety or not? Like, talking about reducing the number of subs and having a 20-minute red card, fuck off. That's just bullshit. Red card, irrespective of whether it's in the first minute of the game or the last 10 minutes of the game or first half or second half, there seems to be a reluctance on refs to give red cards in the first half of the game. If it's a fucking red card, it's a red card, no matter when it happens. Players should be sent off, not come back on the field, should have to go to tackle school, and should get a number of matches of a ban, irrespective. If they get a red card, the only change I would make is if they get a red card after coming back within the first, say, 5 matches of coming back, the penalty is doubled the number of matches to get banned for. This is bullshit. Utter bullshit.
Good man. No splinters in your fucking hole, James, for that. Dave Sheedy, go on. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, like someone said, the Kiwis, like every time something goes against them, they try it out in their Super Rugby, and then the whole world has to do it. Like, I mean, fair play to the French. The IRFU, if they've any cop on, will come straight out, all guns a-blazing against this. When has any rule in rugby ever not been tactically exploited? When? They're always tactically exploited. That's the whole point. Always. That's how Razzie does half his little tricks, because he's looking, he's getting refs in, tell him the details. He's like, right, this is how we exploit that. And you can guarantee the South Africans will be the first offenders in this. Tactically exploit this. I said it last time this question was putting me on here. It's just going to injure players. And there will be, like, the French are 100% correct in absolutely everything they said. Everything. And it drives me nuts that, you know, like,
okay, I just got sent a message. by a mate of mine who's watching who wants to remain anonymous, and he said if the ref straight away presents a red card for dangerous play, this is his interpretation of it, or his understanding of it. If it's immediately presented for dangerous play, a red card, the player's gone for good, cannot be replaced. If the player is sent off on a yellow, and that's then, this fucking shite review, if that's turned into a red, that's a 20-minute red card.
But I think that bunker review has to be gotten rid of anyway because it's nonsense. Like, the ref needs to start making decisions and stop going to the TMO or to someone else in another truck or whatever. Like, I mean, we live and die by the refs' calls. Like, I mean,
and the TMO,
yeah. But like, I mean, you look at the Munster Leinster match, terrible refereeing, but you accept it. It's part of the game. We've no choice. So get rid of that bunker.
You just can't let the Leinster Munster game go, can you?
I can't.
It's fucking eating at you. I can see it in your face.
I would have played better. Like, I mean,
oh, jeez. All right, go on. Anyway, leave it. It's gone. No. Mike Reedy, your thoughts on this? The as I said, the 20-minute record.
Echo what all the other lads have said as well. It's absolute nonsense. Do you know, lads, what some of this is about is club rugby in the Southern Hemisphere, especially in Australia and New Zealand, is completely struggling. And they think that the supporters have been driven away because the game has become too soft and all this bullshit. And because players are getting sent off and because Sam Cane got sent off in the World Cup final. That's exactly another knee-jerk reaction. Fucking nonsense. Player welfare. They keep fucking talking about the whole emphasis is on player welfare. No, it's not. It's on appeasing fucking people who complain, and those who complain the loudest seem to be heard.
Can I ask a quick question? If that red card thing goes ahead, is that in all levels of rugby?
Yeah,
I
even
don't know.
The junior level, because then it's really dangerous.
But at junior level, I don't think they have TMOs.
No, but like red cards.
The referee will be under the same interpretation of the rules that are stated by the board.
Okay, go on, Matt. Your thoughts on this, because I have one more thing to talk about because we're fast approaching the hour mark.
We've talked about this at length, and I gave my opinion on this a long time ago, and I'm fucking dead against it because I believe it does promote bad tactical play in terms of they'll target a player to take him out of the game and not worry about the repercussions because they know they'll get another player on in 20 minutes. My whole thing on this fucking, like, it needs to go away, as the lads have said, but it's fucking utterly ridiculous. They're guns a-blazing to try and protect players and player welfare and all this sort of stuff, but like these kind of measures are just putting them backwards. Like if it's a case that this is what they want, then they have to have a graded system of a red card. So as you were saying, if somebody walks onto the pitch like Jamie Cudmore style and punches him straight in the face, that's a red card. He's off. He doesn't come back, right?
Yeah.
Then if there's another TMO review where it's gone to the bunker, but that's actually grading the red card. So you're actually already starting to fuck around with the red card as it is. It needs to just be what it is. It's a red card. You're off for the match. End of fucking story. Doesn't matter what you do. If it's a high tackle or shoulder contact to the head, you've stamped on somebody, you've kicked somebody, you've eye gouged, you've fucking whatever.
But I think Matt, the difference that they're trying to make is that intent and accidental. As we all know, the two of them are vastly different.
No, look, and of course that. But right now, right, at the red card that's in operation right now, players go onto the pitch knowing they don't want to get a red card because they're going to let their teammates down and potentially lose a match. If they change that, it's going to flip that totally because they know somebody's going to come on as a replacement. So for me, it's fucking stupid.
As Mike was saying though about Australia and New Zealand, the rugby going down, like I interrupted him, so my fault. But that's a valid point. Are they the biggest revenue economy for World Rugby.
Australia.
No,
but they're like the Harlem Globetrotters of rugby. Let's face it. Like everybody wants the All Blacks. So.
New Zealand are the only team who charge an appearance fee in Test rugby. For the light. Yeah, because they can. I'm not talking World Cup now or anything like that. I'm talking November internationals, but outside of the general.
But there's a good point to that in that they can't throw their toys out of the pram and say, right, that's it. We're not going to the Northern Hemisphere this year. We're not happy.
This is it.
Because they need the 12 or 15 million they'll get.
You're right. I totally agree. Now, we're at the hour mark. I just want to end on a few viewers' questions that they were good enough to put up. James Grennan, I'm going to ask you first. I think this is kind of touched on earlier. Bev Anne Marie Burke asked, will more Connacht players get a chance to play for Ireland in the autumn internationals due to the amount of injuries with Leinster and Munster?
I would hope so. And I hope Ben Murphy is one of them. And I hope that one of the Murray brothers gets a chance. He did well in the emerging Ireland squad, I thought. I'd like to see, definitely would love to see a few more coming in, Bevan. That would be super. I think it'd be good for Connacht rugby. It'd be good for Irish rugby.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just thanks, James. Just comments are flying in here. Bevan, one day World Rugby will have a death on their hands. Hopefully not. From one of these big teams due to the obnoxious attitude towards players and their safety. Okay, Ger Brennan down in the Thai RFC. World Rugby have got to the stage where they're making changes for change's sake. Totally agree, Jerry, yes. And it's a poor attempt at trying to stay relevant. Yep, improve condition and stability for the Pacific Islands and the T2 teams if you want to make a difference. A very good and valid point. Let me see. Joe Lyons, hi Joe. Eddie Jones was the first head coach to use a 7-1 split. It was with Japan, not the Box and Razzie. There you go. Every day's a school day. Didn't know that. Danny Brosnan, Meow Flair, RL Flair. Where's this comment? Oh, yeah. They're overcomplicating something simple. Should be clarifying the laws on how to handle them rather than constantly changing the laws. Okay, all right.
You should have said that in the Kerry accent. I'm sorry. Try it again.
I can't do a Kerry accent. All right. Hold on. James Eric Henry McCorkle. Great name. I love that name. I've seen this sort of thing my whole life. Focus in position of authority. Yes. Okay. Thank you, James. And one last one before we continue on. He said that already. Okay, so he went on twice. Okay. Anyone else with a comment about that before we move on to our next? The more Connacht players getting an opportunity to play.
I think if Heffernan is in line now for a call up with all the injuries to hookers.
Well,
is he not?
Dan Sheehan is
that was Gregor's question actually, Mike. Funny, I was going to ask that. Gregor Galway asked a question about out the available hookers who should be on the sheet for the New Zealand game.
Hef should get it.
Dan Sheehan's back full contact training, so.
Well, we both of the Ulster hookers are injured. They have played for Ireland.
Yeah.
Both of the Leinster are. So I think it's going to be Gus McCarthy, probably the Baron from Munster, and Dave Heffernan.
I wouldn't let Baron near it. Can't even fucking throw the ball into the lineup.
Well,
drove me nuts, man.
None of them that.
Say what you mean, Dave. Say what you mean, Dave.
I will.
Anyone else? Dara?
I think Heffernan should definitely get a shot, and definitely, man.
Bevan is on about DTM as well. Dylan Shirley Martin. She's in the. Yeah, she's bang on there. Yeah, Heffernan. David would be a good shout. He needs to. Yeah, he should be given a shot maybe in one of the November internationals. Maybe
Andy Farrell seems to have a thing that if you're not kind of previously brought into the squad, like we'll say hypothetically Gavin Coombs, you're left on the shelf, like, you know. So I would hope he'd pick Heffernan because of injuries, but you never know.
There's definitely
there's one name but you, Dave.
There's definitely an opening for
It's Joe.
Joe, I'll send you a private message. Don't worry.
Don't poke the bear,
Right.
Joe. Don't poke the bear.
Our last question came in from a sound fella, an Ulster supporter. I know Mark. I've met him a couple of times. And he asks, Dara Weston, we'll start you. We'll end with all of us answering this. Mark Hunter asked, let me see here. What about neutral referees for Interpros? Too many complaining about Busby's reffing of the Leinster v Munster, and the same with Brace with Ulster v Connacht. Mark says he was quite vocal about Brace. Surprise, surprise. I know you've history there. But differing opinions about who he favoured. You'd have thought Ulster and Connacht supporters were watching a different match. Dara Weston, what about that? Neutral referees.
Was this the Munster fans who were giving out about Busby being from Wexford?
I don't know. Mark Hunter is an Ulster man.
Oh, I know Mark's an Ulster man, but no, there was Munster fans giving out afterwards that it was Wexford man reffing. It wasn't. It was an Ulster man.
Well, that's pathetic.
Look, ideally, yes, you would have, you wouldn't have Frank Murphy refereeing Munster games and things like that. But, it's all down to availability of referees and top quality refs. So,
But surely to Christ, Dara, you could get a neutral ref for 2 Interpros of all the bank of referees there.
Dara, I wouldn't have Moonpig Murphy reffing a fucking under 5s match.
But I think it's down to the IRFU and whether they'll actually pay for foreign refs to bring them over. It's easier for them to send one of their own panels.
Because they're short of a few fucking quid.
What should they're over games anyway? They're moving amongst the playing nations anyway, so that's never been an issue. It's not always not an Irish refereeing every Irish game. So there's players coming over here from other countries to referee games anyway.
But is it not the URC that provides the ref?
Yeah, I actually say I have to say no. I think to take an awful lot of pressure off the referee himself if he wasn't from this country, refereeing one of, because they are high tension games, and I would never be in favor of picking any. I mean, a referee should have credibility. And everybody should fucking agree what the decisions that are made during the course of a game.
No, I think, Mike. I think all the referees have credibility. It's just a question of the optics of bias that some fans might have. I mean, why would you not have a Welsh ref or an English ref an Irish Interpro and vice versa?
No, they probably should know at this juncture, because it has caused a lot of fucking furore and a lot of nonsense, and maybe they should. I don't know.
Yeah, James Grennan, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have actually. I think as fans at rugby matches, we love to fucking have a go at the ref, no matter who it is. Now, I have a fucking thing with Frank Murphy. I think he's fucking whoever pissed in his porridge when he was at Connacht, he's a fucking utter dislike to us. But in terms of Andrew Brace, the last day, look, we didn't get the calls all our own way. He got the line out, that whole issue. So what? Look, I think he's a good ref. I think he's a very good ref. I have a lot of time for him. They're human at the end of the day. They don't get all the calls right. They don't, and they make mistakes. But we as fans just love to shout and roar at the telly or shout and roar at the ref from the sideline about making calls wrong, because we're all in. I know in the sports ground, there's 8,500 refs in the stand every time there's a match on.
Oh, sure, there's 6 fucking refs here.
I mean, we'd have to ask ourselves: would we like Ben Whitehouse to be coming in ref at any of the games?
There you go. Dave Sheedy, go on. Your thoughts on this?
On James's point, no one gives out about a ref making a few blunders if he's a good ref. Like, no one gave out about Nigel Owens.
God, here we go. Leinster.
No. I'm not. Busby, number 1, is not a good ref, right? Frank Murphy is not a good ref. These are not the standard of refs are good enough for this game. I'm sorry, they're not good enough. Like, 100% you should be getting in a neutral ref from another country for these games. Because I don't believe there was any bias with Busby in that Munster-Leinster game, but he's just not good enough. I mean, the amount of things he missed, and I didn't see it till I saw it on the telly. Like, no one gives out about good referees missing things, this, that, and the other. Like, You know, you're Wayne Barnes. Everyone gives out about him because he wasn't a good ref. Now, that's up for debate, obviously, but I personally thought he was shit. Ben Whitehouse, it seems to be a TMO perpetually now because he's not good enough to be on the field.
He's not good enough
to
I will never give out about a good ref making mistakes because this is part of it. But when it's consistently making bad mistakes, game after game after game after game, where's the reffing assessment to these refs?
Dave, you'd fucking give out if you're
just
fucking overdone. You know? Jesus Christ.
But the problem is there's no incentive for new refs to come through when they see the abuse that existing refs get. And if this orange 20-minute red card thing comes in, that's just going to pile more pressure on refs. So it's
true. Very good. Okay.
Guys, I think we should just get Holly Davidson to ref all matches.
Absolutely, yes. Mike Reedy, you've had a say on this. Matt Boland, you're the final voice on tonight's show.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we all love to give out about refs, but at the end of the day, they're supposed to be trained in the laws of rugby and reffing a rugby match. They should be impartial, whether they're from Munster, from Leinster, from Wales, from England, wherever. You know, they should be professional enough to be impartial for all that. So, like, for me, I don't really mind, but obviously, like, if refs are shit, they should be brought into a room afterwards and made review their errors so that they don't go on and do them again. But I don't think there is any sort of nonsense like that because
there is reviews. There is ref reviews.
Yeah, but you see them making the same mistakes repeatedly over and over again. Exactly. Like, you know, so they're repeatedly shit, but it's obviously they're obviously told, okay, look, you made a bollocks here, don't do it again. But there doesn't seem to be any follow up on that. Like, okay, you did it again, so fucking you're not going to ref a match for 2 weeks or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
there only seems to be repercussions at international test level.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, that should be brought down into the provincial games as well. Like, you know,
well, even into the leagues.
Yeah,
like, I've never seen a ref being thrown out of the Pro 14 or the URC or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
For performance. Whereas you see them not getting selected for World Cups or international tests because their performance is bad.
Like, anybody that's working in a job has to work to key performance indicators. And if you don't perform on some of them, you don't get your bonuses or you lose your fucking job. Like, so surely it has to be of the same standard that referees are reffing by. You know, like, they should be hitting these milestone markers to earn points during the year. And if they're going down, fucking good luck to you. Like,
isn't that what happened to George Clancy? I mean, I always thought he was a very good ref, and then he just seemed to fall out of international favour. Why? I don't know. I thought he was good enough. Is it like jobs for the boys or something?
I have no idea.
I doubt that.
Probably the Kiwis complained about him.
Probably did. Anyway,
like the Welsh
gentlemen,
Alan Rowland.
No, when he left Dave to take up a job at the
but he got abuse for a legitimate red card off the Welsh, you know. So
you know, and fair play to him because he was the only one that had the balls to fucking give a red card as a red card.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And why Christ did we always see them with the unfeasibly small shorts he used to wear?
Smash it! I've wiped that memory. Anyway, gentlemen, firstly to thank you to everyone who joined in, who watched, who posted a comment. I got to as many as I could during the conversation because there's 6 of us on screen. It's never that easy, but thank you very much for your input and for watching and taking part. Also, my thanks to Matt Boland, Mike Reedy, Dave Sheedy, James Grennan. Welcome back to you, buddy. And Dara Weston. Gentlemen, we will do it all again next week. So thank you very much.
Thanks
Take
for having
care
us,
and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Are you going to let Grennan close the show with a joke?
No,
fuck off.